All right, welcome back to bending part 2. We're going to have a look at a bit of a performance piece I've written for you now, incorporating all the different types of bends, sliding and vibrato. So let's have a listen to it and then I'll explain what's going on. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's a bit tricky. I don't think I'm going to be able to manage that. But don't worry, you'll definitely be able to do it because I'm going to explain everything bit by bit. And remember, it's just like the last lesson. If you know where you're bending, sliding and hammering on to, it makes it so much easier because you think, oh yeah, I know how that works. And you can start making up your own choices about where you're going to apply these ideas. All right, so let's have a look at the first lick. Now, for this solo, I'm starting off in position 2 of the minor pentatonic, and this solo is really just going to be position 2, kind of bending into 3, and then going back to position 1. So let's have a look at the first phrase. Now, what I'm going to do is let's take away the bend. This is what I really played. So that's starting on 10 on the B, then 8 on the high E, and then I'm going to play 12 on the high E, back to 8 on the high E. Sorry, that's 10 on the high E, back to 8. Back to 10 on the B, finish here on that high E on the 8th fret. Okay, very good. Now, can you see without the bend, that makes it a bit more manageable, doesn't it? Now, when you're playing licks, you're trying to think, what can I do to that lick to make it sound more interesting? So one thing you can do is, instead of just playing that note, you could slide maybe from the 10th fret to the 12th fret. So then you'd have this. Makes it a bit cooler, doesn't it? So that's the slide. I'm sliding here with my 3rd finger so I don't have to go out of position. If you start doing this, you're always jumping around. It's a bit hard to play. Sounds better. Now, what else can we do? Well, we could replace the slide with a bend. So you're taking the 10th fret and you're bending it to the 12th fret. So this is a very important concept to understand, that when you're bending, you are actually bending to a note. I'm going to come back to that in a sec, but let's have a listen to that. And can you hear the note? Hopefully is the same note. So let me go through all of them again. Here's the first one, without anything. With the slide. With the bend. So hopefully you can hear that when you're sliding, you're not, going up to another note. You're hitting this note on the 12th fret. This is an E note. And when you bend, it should sound the same. So this is what we call a whole tone bend. So you're bending 2 frets, or what we call in music a whole tone. Sometimes in tab you see that as full. So. And the best way to get these bends is listen to the note you're trying to bend to and then bend up to it. If it sounds too low, then you've got to bend up. And I'm using all 3 fingers here to give me a bit of support, Okay, great. Now that might take some time because this is pretty difficult. Bending is, something that might take a few weeks to get. You might bend and it's a bit out of tune. Oh, too low in tune. Or you might go the other way, too high. So just be careful. Make sure you listen to the note first. That's the benefit of playing the note as a slide first, because if your bends are a little bit tricky at first, you can always slide to it first. That's what I used to do before I could bend. I slid everything, but that was good because it gets the pitch in your head, you know. Okay, great. Now, there's one little thing I did at the end. See this last note, 8 on the high E, instead of just playing that note, I did something called a curl. That's where you play the note and you bend it up so it's slightly sharp. It's not this note, it's not this note, it's in between. And then you're trying to kill it with your hand. Again, this is a bit tricky because if you do too much, too little, you know, I always think like a chicken, that kind of thing. So let's hear that. That's called a curl. You don't have to do that, of course. You could just go, or maybe with the slide. You know, so it's up to you. These are all things that once you learn the tricks, you can vary it. Okay, so that's lick number 1. Here's lick number 2. Okay, so we've got a couple of things going on here. Almost the same, starting on that 10th fret on the B. Bending up that 10 on the high E. That was, of course, the 8th fret before it. And now that note is bent up, so I'm going to pick it and let it down while it's still up. Can you hear that? And let it down to the 10th fret. Then we're going to do something called a pull-off. I didn't do that very well, did I? So a pull-off is where you're, really it should be called a pull down, because that 3rd fret is pulling off. So it's like an anchor. This finger on the 8th fret is like an anchor, and you're pulling down to make the sound, so you're not picking. I'm picking here. Again, when you start this, you might get nothing, so pull down and keep that one as an anchor. Then I'm hitting the 10th fret on the B twice, and then I do this. That's kind of like a Stevie Ray Vaughan lick. So this is 8 on the high E, pull off now on the B string, 10 to 8. And then 9. Now it's a bit tricky to pull off on the B string because you've got the E string beneath it. So you sometimes, you hear some noise there. So this first finger is trying to keep that first finger muted. This is all tricky, isn't it, at first? Okay. If I pick that, doesn't have the same sound, does it? So that's good. Let me go back now and play those first 2 licks. So that second lick, if we just played that normal, you know, you're still doing, you could do a slide there, back. Without anything. Doesn't sound the same, does it? Doesn't sound like the blues. So once again. Now, great. So we've done curls, we've done whole step bends. Now we're going to do what we call a minor 3rd bend, or where you're bending 3 frets. So I'm going to bend this one to this note. So why am I doing that, really? Why am I doing that in the first stick? Well, we started in shape 2, but what I'm doing is I'm kind of bending up here to shape 3. So can you see when I did the first lick? That note, which we're bending to, is in shape 3. So when I do this next lick, what I'm doing there is I'm taking this note and bending it a minor third. That's a big bend up a tone and a half, so 3 frets. So I'm taking that 10th fret and I'm bending to this one without the bend. You have that. So do that for now. Slide up to the 13th fret, come back to the 10th on the B, back to 8 on the B, and then finish on that high E on the 8th fret, all right? But what you're trying to do is bend it. So here's the slide. Here's with the bend. And notice after the bend, you're letting it down slowly. With the slide. And you have the sound of the note sliding back, you know. So there we go. So that's the third lick. And then I play this. Now this again is in position 1, but we've got some hammer-ons this time, or pull-offs this time. So starting 5 on the high E, then I'm pulling off 8 to 5 on the B string, then 7 to 5 on the G. So again, just try and keep your fingers like this. This first one is like an anchor. Can you see how when I move up, I play that 7th fret first, then I move that one up. Doink. And then I'm finishing with some vibrato on the 7th fret on the A. Okay, now vibrato, here's the note, here's some vibrato. What you're doing with vibrato is it's really like your fingerprint on the instrument. Here's the note, and you're trying to make it wobble either side of the note. If it goes too much, you're going out of tune, you know. You're not bending it up, you're maintaining the pitch, but you're wobbling it evenly each side. And you can have subtle vibratos, or a more wild one, you know. And you can tell someone by their vibrato. Have a listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, B.B. King, you know, Albert King, all those guys. Gary Moore got such great vibrato, and just listen to how they play it. Again, it's something that takes a lot of time to get a vibrato that you like. So there's that lick. Now, the next bit is the turnaround where we're on the E chord, and that phrase goes like this. So position 1, I'm playing 7 on the D, 5 on the G. Then I'm going to bend up from shape 1 into shape 2, adding some vibrato while the note is still bent up. That's a bit harder because you've got to get to the note and then add your vibrato, but whilst the note is bent. And then I'm sliding up that slide again to the 9th fret. This is in shape 2, but it's really the blues scale. 9, 8 on the G. And then I come to 10 here on the D string. This is from shape 2 again. Finish on that note, 7th fret on the G string. Last phrase. This is 5 on the B, a little curl on the G string 5th fret. You could do that right, but I'm finishing with some nice vibrato on that A note. That's the root of the key we're in, and that's the 7th fret of the D. So let me go back and play the whole thing so you can see how it sounds. 2, 3. Oh, by the way, I should tell you that before I do this, this starts on the and of 3. So 1 and 2 and 3. There we go. So that's what I played there. So remember, you can always, when you're playing something, you don't have to bend. You can always slide to it, you know. And if you don't want to do that, you don't have to do the bend at all. Like, let's take that last phrase, for example. See, I didn't use any slides or any bends in there. One step further. So I slid into that note instead of, you know, kind of curling to it. So that'll always work too. So there we go. That's the piece. So have some fun with that. And let me know how you go. See if you can record it and send a video of it. Put it in the, you know, in the playing section. So cool. Good luck with that. Take your time. Remember, it does take time to do bends and stuff like that. So good luck.